Every single person you've ever trusted has hidden something from you, and you never saw it coming. Not because you were naive, not because you weren't paying attention, but because no one ever taught you how to read what's happening beneath the surface of a conversation. And today that changes. By the time this video ends, you'll know exactly what to look for, what to listen for, and how to sense when someone's words and their real intentions are moving in opposite directions. But first, there's something about human communication that most people never find out. Something that completely reframes every conversation you've ever had. We'll get to it. Stay close. Think about the last time you left a conversation feeling uneasy. Something was off, but you couldn't name it. The words were fine, the tone was friendly enough, and yet your gut was screaming. That discomfort you felt wasn't paranoia, it was intelligence. Your brain was processing dozens of microsignals that your conscious mind hadn't caught up to yet. The problem is, most people dismiss that feeling. They override it with logic. They tell themselves they are overthinking, and that's exactly when they get hurt. Here's what's really happening in every conversation. There are two parallel dialogues running at the same time. One is the conversation you can hear. The other is the one people are desperately trying to hide. Detecting hidden intentions isn't about becoming suspicious of everyone. It's about developing the emotional clarity to know when someone's spoken words and their actual agenda are not the same thing. And that skill, once developed, will protect you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Let's start with the most powerful signal most people completely ignore. The gap between what someone says and what they do right after. Words are cheap. Behavior is expensive. When someone tells you, I want the best for you, but consistently makes decisions that leave you smaller, quieter, or more dependent on them. The behavior is the truth. The words are the costume. Pay attention to patterns, no promises. Patterns don't lie because patterns require sustained effort to maintain, and no one can fake who they are indefinitely. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable, and stay with this, because this next part is what separates people who understand human nature from those who get blindsided by it over and over again. Most hidden intentions don't announce themselves. They don't arrive with red flags waving in the air. They come dressed as generosity, as concern, as friendship, as love. The person trying to manipulate you is not going to look like a villain. They're going to look helpful. They're going to ask the right questions, say the right things, and make you feel understood in a way that feels almost too good. And that almost is the key. When attention feels perfectly calibrated to your vulnerabilities, when someone seems to know exactly what you need before saying it, it's worth asking, how do they know that? And what are they building toward? One of the clearest signals of hidden intention is the strategic use of vulnerability. There are people who share personal pain not to connect, but to extract. They open up just enough to make you open up completely. They create a false intimacy, an artificial depth that makes you feel bonded to them before you've earned that bond through real time and real trust. Watch for people who move too fast emotionally. Depth that arrives without history is a performance, not a relationship. And here's something most communication guides will never tell you. The questions someone asks reveal far more than the answers they give. Hidden intentions live in the architecture of curiosity. When someone asks you repeatedly about your finances, your insecurities, your relationships, your fears, while offering very little about their own, they're not getting to know you. They are mapping you. They are building a profile, and that profile has a purpose. The question is, what is it? But let's go deeper, because there's a layer beneath words and questions that almost no one learns to read. And it might be the most important of all. Micro-expressions, not in the dramatic slow motion way you see in movies, in the real blink and you miss it way they actually appear. A flash of contempt before the smile settles in. A moment of calculation before the spontaneous response. Eyes that move to an exit when they should be holding contact. These signals last fractions of a second and your nervous system catches them even when your conscious mind doesn't. That's why you sometimes feel something up without being able to explain what you felt. You saw something real. You just didn't have the framework to name it. Here's the framework. When you're in a conversation and something feels misaligned, run 3 internal checks. First, is this person answering the question I actually asked, or a slightly different version of it? Deflection is one of the oldest tools of concealment. Second, does their emotional reaction match the weight of the situation? An exaggerated response to something minor, or a flat response to something significant? Both are signals that the emotion is being managed, not felt. Third, are they more interested in what you know than in who you are? Curiosity about your information is not the same as curiosity about your soul. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds exhausting. Am I supposed to analyze every conversation? No, believe me. You're not supposed to become a machine. It's not their idea. You're supposed to become present, because most of what protects you in a conversation isn't analysis. It's awareness. It's the difference between being inside the moment and being carried away by it. When you're truly present, your instincts work. When you're distracted, flutter, or emotionally overwhelmed, they go quiet. And that silence is when hidden intentions do their best work. There's one more thing, and this is the part that I promised you at the beginning. The thing about human communication that most people never find out. The most dangerous hidden intention is never the one directed at you from outside. It's the one you carry yourself, the desperate need to be liked, to be chosen, to be seen. That need makes you ignore signals you should be reading. It makes you reinterpret red flags as misunderstandings. It makes you negotiate with your own perception because the truth is too costly to accept. Detecting hidden intention in others starts with radical honesty about your own. When you stop needing someone to be who you want them to be, you start seeing who they actually are. Here's what you now know. Behavior beats words every time. Questions reveal agendas. False intimacy moves too fast. Microsignals speak louder than the rehearsed answers. And your emotional hunger is the gap that manipulation walks through. The next conversation you enter, you won't just hear what's being said. You'll feel the architecture of it. You'll sense what's moving underneath. And that awareness, quiet, precise, and deeply human, is the only protection that never fails.